I want to open this with a question. In your opinion, if I was to ask you to define what makes a wrestling match legendary, a classic, one of the greatest of all time, what would you say? Just one thing. It can be multiple things, but really one thing that makes one match a must see, a match that defines the art of wrestling. For me, if I was asked that question, I would tell you, for someone like me who knows it's fake, who knows it's scripted, predetermined, if you can get me to forget that it's scripted, that it's fake, that it is predetermined, that all of this is planned, if you are able to immerse me into what you're doing, and I believe what you're doing is real, you have what I call a legendary match. Simple as that. You can look at the intricate details about it. You can talk about execution of moves, storytelling, psychology. I don't know. Everybody has their own criteria of what makes an amazing match. For me, you can have all that, but the real answer is, did this match make you forget that this is scripted, that this is fake, that this is pre-planned? Okay, if it did, it's a legendary match. It's a classic. And that is how I feel about the main event of this show, which is honestly the only thing I want to talk about. So let's breeze through this review. Let's get through all the other matches, because overall, talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling's Dominion 2018, the show was good. I thought overall it did its job to keep my fandom in New Japan. Let me know that this is a place for me to, invest in, spend my money, and watch people who are really good at wrestling do their thing. And, just keep me interested in what's coming up. G1 Climax, Power Struggle, and, of course, next year's Wrestle Kingdom. But despite how good the show is, the only thing really people will be talking about is the main event. Not saying everything else in the show was garbage. If anything, this is just another example of why people are losing interest in companies like the WWE. Because they're so caught up in the past and what worked back then that they can't come to terms with themselves that what they're doing doesn't work. Or they can't see how other companies like New Japan Pro Wrestling, and not just New Japan, but Lucha Underground, NXT even, how they're able to connect with their audience better or more than they do, because they know what it takes to make us care about what they do. And nothing defines that better than the main event. So let's get to it. The first match was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship. El Desperado and who is this? Yoshi-Nobu Kanemaru. Roppongi 3K. Not much to say about this match. Really, not much to say about the first two matches. The first two matches are tag matches, and they were filler. When you have a 5.5-hour show, you're going to need some filler on here, and usually with New Japan, the first two matches are whatever. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's whatever, you don't even remember it, and I don't even remember what happened in these matches. So, the first match, the champions retained. I think it was El Desperado and Kanemaru. Yeah, Roppongi 3K apparently lost their belts and can't get them back. And that second match had CJ Parker, Juice Robinson, and David Finlay taking on Yoshi-Hashi and Jay White. I think Juice Robinson, Juice, not Juice, but Juice. Juice Robinson ended up beating Jay White, so I guess that means he gets a shot at the United States Championship, I guess. Honestly, I don't know how to feel about Jay White. He's he's not doing anything for me. Far cry from what Kenny Omega was as a U.S. champion. But whatevs. And then we did another tag match, which I actually liked. It was my guy, Ishii, Tomohiro Ishii, and Toru Yano, who I'm becoming a big fan of. Break! Grabs the ropes. Break! I love that. I don't know why I like it. Taking on my boys, Zack Sabre Jr. and Suzuki. Ooh. Let me just say this. Whenever they do Ishii versus Suzuki, I'm there. They were the highlight of this match. Seeing those two just slap and punch and kick, scratch and slam, just beat the living piss out of each other was amazing. It was beautiful. It was brutal, but it was beautiful. Not beautiful, but beautiful. It was amazing to see. And quite frankly, that one-on-one match I would pay good money to see. Anytime, any day. But Suzuki Gun won their match. Zack Sabre Jr. countered a low blow with his legs and turned it into a submission move because he's freaking amazing. And then we see Ishii and Suzuki beat each other up all the way to the back. So yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Ishii versus Suzuki. All day, every day. We got other matches on here. We got the Never Openweight Championship. Michael Elgin won that match. He is now the new Never Openweight Champion. Solid match overall. It was a triple threat. Not much else to say about it. It was just solid. The Tag Team Championships. The Young Bucks taking on Sanada and Evil from Chaos. Right? Was that Chaos or is that Los Ingobernables? Wait, no. That's Los Ingobernables. That's not Naito's group. Sorry. Again, I need to do more research. Los Ingobernables ended up losing their titles to the Young Bucks, who I was very impressed with. They were selling. Oh my God, the Young Bucks were actually selling their moves. And they're good sellers. That's what kills me about the Young Bucks. When they actually care about the structure or making a match believable and not just doing spots for the sake of spots, they're really good at it. This was a good match. So, yeah, Young Bucks are now your new heavyweight tag team champions. Good job. Congratulations, Young Bucks. And please do more matches like this because I want to continue saying good things about y'all. We got the debut of Rey Mysterio in a six-man tag match. He looked good. Rey Mysterio looks amazing. He's 43 years old and he looks and wrestles like he's 21. Seriously, this is 90s Rey Mysterio we're looking at here. He went back to the 90s on us, and I'm happy to see him doing his thing. I was blown away at how well he looked. But he took on the Bullet Club, CODY, Marty Scurll, and Hangman Page, with Jushin Thunder Liger and Tanahashi, the ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling. The bad guys won. CODY gets the victory by pitting, was it Jushin? Not too sure. The bad guys won. That's all I know. And I like the match. It's just, again, I'm so caught up with the fact that Rey Mysterio looked so good in this match. We gotta get him and Will Ospreay. Him and Marty Scurll, him and everybody. Just put him up against everybody. Even Kenny Omega. I'll take it. Shoot, he might have to come back to WWE and do one last run. Not right now, though. No, not right now. Keep away from WWE right now, because they'll ruin you. And then we got the triple main event. We got the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Will Ospreay taking on Hiromu Takahashi, who won the Best of the Super Juniors, which I did see the finals of. Crazy match. I think Dave Meltzer gave it 5.5 stars. He's just breaking his scale. But it was a really good match. This one, amazing. I loved it. You can't really have a bad match with Will Ospreay. And I like the fact that in this particular match, he slowed it down and worked a more technical style, which was interesting. Maybe it was because he was hurt. Every time I see Will Ospreay, he has bandages on his body. Like, he's breaking something every single week. He better be careful. By the time he's 35, I'm not even kidding you, he'll be in a wheelchair. He needs to be careful. I mean, I love it. I love the fast-paced style. I think he's freaking great at what he does. But after a while, it's kind of like, dude, every time I see you, you have bandages on you. Come on now. Like, I don't want you to be in a wheelchair when you're 35, but come on. Shocker. Ending here. Takahashi beats him. I thought in my mind that Will Ospreay was someone they want to keep that championship on long term. Because he's one of the best wrestlers they got. And you want the best wrestlers you have to be champion. No, they had Takahashi beat him, which I thought was very interesting. Huh. I liked it. Shocker. Good shocking, by the way. But I don't know. That's... Let's see where that goes. Chris Jericho, Y2J, taking on Tetsuya Naito for the Intercontinental Championship. First off, I love this Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho in New Japan Pro Wrestling is... I'm trying to find the best way to describe him. You know what? I'm going to quote Kevin Kelly. He is basically the Bruiser Brody of this generation. He is vicious. He is an animal. He has no sympathy. He has all kind of malice. No restraint. Cussing. Beating people hard. He is going off on people in New Japan. These matches he's been having are hard to watch in terms of, God, these are brutal. And he beat the living piss out of Naito in this match. Before the match, when he did the pre-match attack, and then during the match, and then after the match, he beat the piss out of Naito. To the point that Evil had to come and save Naito. Chris Jericho ends up beating Naito and becoming the Intercontinental Champion. Chris Jericho is a freaking champion in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yo, man, that's huge. Who's the president? I hear there's a new president in New Japan. He opened the show, but I didn't see the opening act. Let me look him up real quick. But yeah, Chris Jericho is a champion in New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's amazing, man. I'm happy for Jericho. I'm happy he got away from the constraints that is the WWE. I'm so happy to see him do his thing, because I felt like WWE was not the place for him anymore. He was becoming a corporate shill. I was getting sick of Chris Jericho. I was getting sick of Chris Jericho in WWE. So happy he was able to leave and change it up. So now he's a free agent. He can do whatever the hell he wants. Chris Jericho can go to Impact Wrestling and wrestle there now. Which, honestly, isn't he doing something with Impact Wrestling on his cruise? I'm just saying. Chris Jericho is tearing the world down right now, and I'm happy for him. Okay, so the New Japan Pro Wrestling president is someone new. Like, I think he's not Japanese. I know that for sure. Okay, I'll look into it later. I thought I was gonna be able to find it. I guess not. So let's just go into the main event, because I do want to spend most of my time talking about what Okada and Omega did. And in short, oh, here it is. His name is Harold Mage? M-E-I-J. I don't know how to pronounce that. I guess it's... looks like May. Well, Mr. May, if that's how you say your name. But he's the new president. So, welcome. He doesn't look Japanese. Harold George... No, he doesn't look Japanese at all. Regardless. Main event. The best word I can use to describe Omega and Okada is art. The main event they had was the very definition of art. And what is art? Something that can make you feel. You know, it's able to make you feel sad. It's able to make you feel anxious, happy, angry. Just take you through the full spectrum of emotions. The things they did in this match were it's hard for me to even describe how amazing it was. The selling, oh my goodness, the selling, the drama, immaculate. I'm throwing out big words, immaculate. The atmosphere, the brutality, the fact that they were able to hold my attention for an hour, over an hour. These guys are artists, and the ring was their canvas. And basically, with this 2 out of 3 falls main event for the heavyweight championship, no time limit. This is basically New Japan's way of saying, okay, here's a blank canvas, here are 2 brushes, have fun. And these two created a masterpiece. One of the greatest matches of all time. All time. All time. You would be crazy not to consider this up there with some of the best. I would put this up there with the Steamboats and Flairs. I would put this up there with the Austins and Rocks. I'd put this up there with the Hart and Michaels, or the Owen and Bret Hart matches. I put this up there with some of the greatest of all time. And I'm blessed. I'm happy that I'm alive to be able to witness this. And I want to thank everyone, all the fans that got me involved in New Japan Pro Wrestling. The Dave Meltzers, the people subscribed to me. You're the reason I'm seeing this. This is the future. This is what wrestling should be. And most importantly, we gotta give both of these performers their props. Kazuchika Okada is one of the best champions in history. When he's retired, when he calls it a day, I will always respect him and call him one of the greatest champions in wrestling history. Held that belt for over 700 days. Over 700 days. That's 2 years. I know it's over 2 years. I think it's like, didn't they say it was like 790? Almost close to 800. Guys, he's the freaking beast. That's cool. The fact that this guy was able to hold this thing for, if not 2 years, close to it. Having some of the greatest matches. And not just New Japan Pro Wrestling history, but in wrestling history, period. With the likes of Omega. With the likes of Shibata, my boy Shibata. Poor guy. He had to retire because of what he did. But many others. You know, this guy he's got to go down as one of the greatest of all time. Like, if you make a list of top wrestlers in the history of wrestling, he's got to be up there somewhere. But then you look at his opponent. Someone that we've all been calling the best in the world for, if not a year, probably way before then. We've all known that Kenny Omega is the greatest, is the best today. Maybe not of all time. No, not of all time. Sorry, he's not there yet. He's not there yet. He probably will be, because he's young enough to still make a career to get there. But in terms of today, absolutely. We've all known he was the best wrestler. And only a few people can compete with that. Only a very few people who can compete with that level. But he's never really had the championship to define it. He does now. And when it was all said and done, when it all came to a close, Omega finally beats Okada. And you know what? I honestly feel like if anyone else did it, it wouldn't feel right. This was Omega's time. You know, Naito, it didn't feel right with Naito. And honestly, I was shocked they didn't go with Naito, but in reality, I'm glad they didn't. It didn't feel right with Naito. It wasn't his time. It was not Naito's time. It was Omega's time. Omega deserved to be the world champion. He is the best wrestler in the world, and he should be treated like it. So, the fact that he won the belt and he had his moment with the Young Bucks, they came out, they hugged, and then he hugged Ibushi. That's beautiful. That kind of stuff just hits you in the heartstrings. That's what I watch wrestling for, man. That's cool. The stories, the moments of triumph, and of course the moments of defeat as well, but what they do with that defeat, how it makes them better, where it takes them, how you grow from that. That's life. The lessons that it teaches you. And, it's really, really cool to see Omega doing this thing and really treating wrestling like it is art. Because, listen, Omega can call it a day, come to WWE and just make his money. And be rich. Rich, 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 rich. He doesn't have to work as hard as he does, but he chooses to. Because he loves wrestling. And he loves the art of it. And he works his ass off to preserve that art. While companies like WWE continue to shove Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal down our throats, here he is, opening new avenues for wrestlers to come, travel down, and be happy and still make money. So yeah, this is right. This feels right. He should be champion. And I love that after the match, he had his moment. We see Cody Rhodes come out. And you're thinking, is he about to attack him? Is he about to ruin this moment? No. He gets halfway up the ramp, stops, turns around. He couldn't ruin the moment. He couldn't do it. Like, that's great. I do love that they did that, because he could have ruined the moment, and it would have been in his character. But Cody even showed a humanity side to himself. Because as much of a bastard as he is, he has too much respect for wrestling. He has too much respect for someone like Omega, who continues to preserve the art of wrestling, the same art that his dad preserved for decades. Couldn't attack him. And I love that. That's good. That New Japan! Y'all are on fire, man! That's awesome. I loved everything about that main event. And if you haven't seen it, stop what you're doing right now. Set aside an hour. Sit through this match, and I promise you, you will be satisfied you did. But I can't thank Omega enough. I can't thank Okada enough. I can't thank everyone involved enough for what they did in that main event. It was amazing. And I want to see more of it. We need to see more of this. Matter of fact, if New Japan does plan to do a world expansion, as in, touring USA, UK, Australia, I want them to know those first few years will be rough. Like anything. You start off a new sport, you start off a new job. The first 1 or 2 years you're working are always the hardest. Because you're getting used to the environment. You're going to run into some ruts. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to say a lot of things or do a lot of things that aren't what you're supposed to be doing. But as time goes by, it'll get a lot easier. What you need to focus on is making sure every single show you do, every single show that's done, is top quality. Is like this show. Because, again, this wasn't one of the greatest shows of all time. Dominion this year, good show. But it wasn't one of the greatest. I'm not going to say this was better than NXT TakeOver New Orleans, which was, oh my goodness. Yeah, one of the greatest of all time, in my opinion. But this show was good. And this is all we asked for. Listen, I know I'm critical, and I'm going to end this video because it's about to be 25 minutes. I'm a very critical wrestling fan because I want the wrestling business to be better than what it is now. Because I do believe it's a business that can make so much more money than it's making. And it is making a lot of money, but you can do so much more. To me, it's one of those things where all I ask at the end of the day is that you give me a good show. I don't want you to give me WrestleMania 17 every week, because that's impossible. I don't want you to give me WrestleMania 19 every week, because that's impossible. I don't want you to give me Wrestle Kingdom every week. What I want is to know that you gave me your best effort. You entertained me with good matches, good storytelling, good psychology, and at the end of the day, bringing it back full circle, you make me forget that what I am watching is scripted. If you can do that, that's all I can ask for. And I will praise you. I will break my back for you. Because you break your back for me on a daily basis. I will break my back to defend you. If you can do just that. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who watched this video. If you have your thoughts on New Japan Pro Wrestling's Dominion, leave it down below in the comment section. And of course, give me your thoughts on the main event. How you feel about Okada and Omega. Thank you for watching. I'm getting out of here. This is a long video. A longer review than I wanted it to be, but hopefully it was worth your time. This is your boy, Alyx Man, signing off right here in Alyx Man's World. Peace out.